Well, I was, obviously we were, you're concerned about every series or every game that can end your year. We needed wins this weekend to put us in a really good position, as we were last year, winning those first two games against Ferris State, really hard, 2 overtime games. It basically solidified our national tournament opportunity, and so these games were really important that we didn't give up anything. We knew a lot of teams were going to be playing against each other and beating each other, and we got some help today. Notre Dame lost, that really helps us, as did Ohio State. I believe they lost, and that really helps us. Those are the two teams that were in pairwise and really with the ability to knock us out, because you're looking at Alaska getting in as an at-large, and then you look at, you got whatever the other Atlantic hockey situation where they're getting teammates. All of a sudden you're at 14, and the 14th team is that's what you have to be at, hoping there's no other upsets. Some other teams don't win their playoffs. So long story short, huge to get it. Hard. It was hard. I don't feel right now elated. Feel more drained probably than elated. It was. I thought it was just a battle. They don't go away. They kept battling back. We get a 3-goal lead in the third, and the next shift they come down and get an odd man rush and start popping pucks around. And our power play kind of was kind of maybe lost. Took a little wind out of our sails, but at least it killed some time. Killed 5 minutes of at a critical time for us. So, but then we took a penalty at the end. And they scored and made it, give themselves a kick at it. So, guys did a good job with the goalie out. We didn't. I don't think we gave up anything, did we, with the goalie out? They had some zone time, but I don't think they had really a look. Oh, actually, a flurry at the end there was bouncing around in our crease. They were throwing it in the front. So, good team, well coached. I do think that St. Thomas is going to be a top 4 team next year. They had four guys. I looked at it today. 4 guys. Freshman with 20+ points. They had another guy with 20 goals. I think he has 20th goal tonight. Am I right on that? Those are big numbers. So their future looks bright. Very pleased that our guys we were able to find a way to get through this one.
First goal tonight gets pulled back. When you see that happening again here for the second week, does it go through your head, oh no, not that again? Or
oh yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it. And it's not just as it's pulled back; it's a 2-goal swing. Again, we last week we scored. It goes away, and then this week we score, and it goes away. So yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie. Absolutely, it goes through your mind. Yeah.
How important was it then to get one back to even things?
Yeah, then we went down 1-0, didn't we? So everything that you just have to take how the game goes. Elimination games often are chaotic. Goofy things happen. And, tonight's game I thought was chaotic. It wasn't, I didn't think it had a lot of beautiful flow to it. And it was just a grunty, grindy hockey game. There's certainly things we're going to have to do better next week. We're going to have to do things better and look at it. But it's the same stuff over and over that we got to work on, and we'll just keep trying to be consistent at it and try to get better at it.
Was it that elimination factor that caused tonight to be such a much higher scoring game than last night?
It might. It often gets like that. They take on. I remember being like at Lake State several years ago. I mean, way back. You guys probably weren't even born at the time, but there were 3 straight overtime games. Lake State had to win the regionals, which they did. Beat Lowell in an overtime, I believe it was overtime. Beat Michigan in overtime to win the regional to go to the NCAAs. Beat a really good Harvard team in overtime. And so all these games are just tight, and then you get to the championship game against a tremendous BU team, and we beat them 9-1. So, they take on an element of their own, and if I'm Rico, I'm really proud of his group, the way that they continued all weekend to make it really difficult. Those guys are going to grow and get better. It was tough. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be even, and to come out, and I expected a 3-game series, and our guys were able to do it in 2, and I'm elated about that.
The format's now changing to a one-game series now, single-game elimination. How do you prefer that format compared to a best-of-3 going into a weekend?
Yeah, well, it all depends on where you're seated, right? I don't know. We want to win this thing. We want to win our league championship. But the reason that you do that, reason why leagues do that, is that so that a team that's in a good position to get in the tournament. You could have an injured goalie. You could have a lot of things. You're not hit as much if you lose one game as if you lose two games. I mean, you lose two. If we were to play a 2-game series, it didn't go our way. I mean, all of a sudden we could drop to 14 and we're not in. A one game deal against a really good team, whoever it is, whether we're playing Northern or whatever, shouldn't be a huge impact. Now, again, we're playing to win. I can promise you that. But that's the reason why leagues go to this single elimination, so that the damage done to contending teams is minimized. Now you could look at the other way and say, well, this team is close and they need to win two games might help them, but if they lose 2 games, that doesn't help them, and winning 1 game might help them just as much and win another one. So that's why they do it. If we needed the wins and things like that, I'd look at it differently. I like the format. I think it's a good format. It eliminates some wear and tear, and the first series is where you really want the best teams. You want to ensure that the best teams have the best chance of advancing. And when you get into this, I'm for the format. I like the format.
Do you feel that it's a good prep as well, because that's the same format the national tournament takes?
Well, every game now is elimination. So yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the closest you can get to a Final Four.
Well, Final Four, it's elimination. It's elimination. So somebody's not going on. What happens with this though, within how we're doing, is you're not 2 games in a row. So the fatigue factor isn't an issue and things like that. You should, teams you're not managing for a potential 3-game series with holding guys back a little bit or monitoring shifts and things like that. You're playing to win 1 hockey game. So, I think it's good. I think it's good for the fans. I think it's good for everybody. I was for it when we decided to do it, and I remember when we first went to this home ice years ago. I think it was both series as the first 2 were 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah.
And then they went to this, and I just explained the reason why, and then Big Ten's doing it, and I thought the Big Ten went one step further. I was surprised to see State and Notre Dame playing tonight in those teams. I thought I had read that they were going to single elimination all the way through. But that really helped us tonight with the Adams team, who played really well last night. Michigan State, Adam Nightingale, they won tonight, and then I think Penn State beat Ohio State tonight
in overtime.
Those were huge for us. I think we're sitting 10 right now. So you get to this stage and you're in the position we're in. That's what we're looking for, because it gets us in the national tournament, and you're four games away from the national title.
Coach, we've been talking about Tristan and the offense he's been producing the last few weeks. He gets 3 points tonight, 2 goals. How nice is it to see him finding a way to chip in, senior leadership at this point for you?
Yeah, it's huge. Everybody that can perform at critical times is big. I'm glad to see Parker get, I don't know how many points he got tonight, but he got to 20. And that's been something I've been looking at. I never said anything to him, but he's been sitting on 19 for a few games. And I want him to get to 20. Tristan's getting it going a little bit. Kook's got another really nice goal tonight. And did he have 2?
Yes.
2.
So Kook's he puts up 2 nights in an elimination game. That bodes well. He scored last week shorthanded against Mankato to basically almost give us a league championship, the McNaughton Cup. So that's Logan Piedla's stuff that he did at the GLI a few years back. That's the good thing about with our program, is that we need to continue to recruit and get impact players, and our big players are playing well tonight. I thought we got some really good shifts, because having a 5-minute major at the beginning before you even have a second shift of the game, there's guys, 2 lines didn't even get on the ice to settle in. And all of a sudden, you're in game 2, you're wearing down. Certain guys on our team are power play and penalty kill guys, and they're wearing down. And then you get another power, shorthanded in the first period, and then you get one to start the second period. 3 straight, 9 minutes of the first 22 minutes we were shorthanded. But we got some really, really good shifts out of out of Nards and out of Stauber and out of Pedersen and out of Bronte. Those guys gave us some really, really good shifts with a lot of energy. They had some jump to them, and I thought that was extremely important in the hockey game tonight.
Jed had 3 assists tonight. He's been stepping up his performance lately. He might be a little banged up here or there. How is his performance lately?
I love him. I love that kid. I mean, he didn't play much for 2 years. He was injured all last year. He's a converted forward that's converted to D. He's as tough as they come, both and stubborn, in a good way, and stubborn. But I like that, and he is evolving into a tremendous Division I defenseman. He's putting up points. Made a really big play last night. We looked at that goal last night. You couldn't see it from the bench, but when I watched it when I went home, that sauce pass he threw over 2 sticks was, right on Thorne's stick going in was an unbelievable play. Unbelievable play. So, and he got another nice assist. You said he got 3 points tonight. I mean, he's at big times. That's what you look for. A major important thing to me is how do guys play in elimination games? How do they play at the most critical times? How did they play last week in that deciding game? Like, we played really well enough to win overall on Friday night to set ourselves up to win a championship, and played really well in that game, and went punch for punch with Mankato in that game, and they did what they do and they won a championship. But that's what you look for. That's what I look for at critical times of the game. That's why I'll watch that late goal that they got, the goal at the end of the first period. I'll watch that. Who is it? Is it an individual? Because sometimes there's a guy that you think's a really good player, but something happens at critical times. That's what you're looking for. 2 things. First of all, deciding whether you want to go with them, and secondly, for them to grow and get through it and make a big play at the, come up with some big plays at that time, because once they do it once, they can do it again. So that's what you're really looking for.
We're good on the team side, I think.
Thank you.
Any score?